Hello, good day and welcome. I'm Timotab and today I'm going to solve Ladder by Zetamath. If you would like to try solving this puzzle for yourself, it will be the first link in the description. The rules in the Sudoku pad link are an abbreviated set. So if you're familiar with the particular rules that are given here, you'll have no problem. I have the full rules on screen, and I will have the full rules in the description, and I will also link to the Logic Masters Germany page for this puzzle, which also has the full rules. And with that, let's have a look at the rules and I will explain them. Okay, normal Sudoku rules apply. So we are going to place the digits 1 to 9, once each, in every row, every column, not that one, and every box. Okay, normal rules for entropic lines. So entropic lines take one of these digits will be from 1, 2, 3, one of them will be from 4, 5, 6, one from 7, 8, 9. And we also, to help identify them, not just the peach line, but also the fact that it says ENT in one of the cells to remind us, or for those who have colorblindness issues. Okay, so that's the entropic lines, and there's a number of those. Nabner lines, which are these gold-colored lines. On nabner lines, no two digits on the line can be consecutive with each other, no matter where they are placed on the line, and you cannot repeat digits on a nabner line. German whispers, adjacent digits on a German whispers line have to have a difference of at least 5. Okay? 10 lines. On a 10 line, we are going to break this line up into some grouping. Each grouping sums to 10, and there's no overlaps in those groupings. So it could go like that, or it could potentially go like that, with the digits filled in appropriately. With each of those colors summing to 10. And black dots, one of these digits must be double the other. Okay, I am just going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. Okay, so the first thing I think to think about is that we can't have 5 on a German whispers line. Okay, because if we had a 5, its adjacent digit would have to be 0 or less, or 10 or more. Now that's interesting for these 10 sum lines, because I'm going to have a 5 here in one of these pairs, but I can't have 2 5s. So at least one of these is going to take a third cell, but I'm not sure we can identify that just yet. Okay. Maybe it's here that's the issue. Or, well, so we're going to have 2 digits from 1, 2, and 3, 2 digits from 4, 5, and 6, one of which will be a 5, and 2 digits from 7, 8, and 9 in these entropic lines. But I need to leave room. So I'm going to have 1 from 1, 2, 3, 1 from 4, 5, 6, but not 5, and one from 7, 8, 9. So I either have a 4 or a 6 on here. So that has to be a 1 or a 9, because the 4 or the 6 is going to be here or here, and then that will be a 1 or a 9. And then, so if that's 4, that's 9, and then I need an entropically low digit, which would be from 1, 2, or 3. And then if this is 6, that's 1, and then I would need a 7, 8, or 9. Okay, but that's a 1, 9. These three behave in the same way. So that is also a 1, 9 pair. And I think that's interesting because we can actually color these two green lines against each other. So because there's no 5, we're going to alternate between high and low digits on a German whisper line, above 5 and below 5. And that is because if we tried putting two digits from the low set, 1, 2, 3, and 4, next to each other, then their maximum difference would be only 3, which is less than the 5 required. So I can color that and that green. I don't know whether green or purple is going to be high or low, but because that's a 1, 9 pair, I can at least color them against each other. Okay. So can I do anything along here? Okay, I can only have one of 4, 5, and 6. Right? Yeah, I can only have one of 4, 5, and 6. The other of 4, 5, and 6, yeah, because if this is 4, that's 1, and then that, sorry, if that's 4, in fact, I can't have 4 on the line, because that's 9. So one of these two is a 6. Wait, do I have to have 4, 5, or, sorry, 4 or 6 here? I can only have a maximum of 1 of 4, 5, and 6. I don't have to have a 4, 5, or 6 on there. But in any case, I do not have a 4 on there because of this 9. Because the 4 couldn't go there because those would both be 9s. And if 4 is here or here, that would have to be a 9. So I have a 4 and a 5 in these digits. Okay. So if 6 were not on the line, 6 can't be on the line because that would be a 1. So I have a 4, 5, and 6 not on the line, but I can't have 5 and 6 together, because if 5 and 6 were together, that would give me 11. So 5 and 6 are on opposite sides, but either of them could go with a 4. So what do we got? We've got 4, 5, and 6. So that leaves 7, 8, 2, and 3. So if I had 7 and 8 off the line, wait, I've got 4, 5, and 6 off the line. How would I put 7 or 8 with those digits and still get a number below 10? I can't do that. So 7 or 8 are on the line. And that places a 2 here because only 1 and 2 can go next to a 7. And we know that one of those two is 7. And we already have a 1 accounted for in the row. All right. So now we have 3, 4, 5, and 6 in those. But the 6 cannot go with a 5. So we could have 6, 4, which makes 10. We could have 6, 3, 1, which makes 10. If we had 6, 3, 1, that would be fine. 4, 5, 1 would work. But we could do 6, 4, 3, 5 with a 2, or we could actually have a 3, 5 with a 1 and a 1 on this side. So okay. All right. Let me see. Okay, I can't put a 1 or a 9 on this renban, because if I have a 1 or a 9 on it, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, or 7, 8, 9. And that consumes all 3 of the low digits, but I need a low digit on here, or all 3 of the high digits. So I can't have 1 or 9 on here. I can't put 4, 5, 6 on here, because that would consume all 3 of the middly digits. Okay. So that's 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5, or 5, 6, 7, or 7, 8, 9. No, 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8. How does that help? And that same logic applies to this renban, because we haven't used anything about the nabner to establish that. So if this were 2, 3, 4, then I'd have to have a 1 on the entropic line. Then I could have a 6 and a 9. 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. I could have a 6 and an 8. 5, 7, 9 would work for the nabner. Okay, I think that has too many options right now. Okay, the 10 line can't have a single digit, but it could have as much as 4. But it could be in blocks of 2. We know that at least one of these two lines has a 3 at the end that starts in row 5. Okay. These two are the same entropy. All right. I've got a length 4 nabner line. So, yeah, but this one doesn't see any of these. Well, it sees that one, but that one's relatively unrestricted compared to what's in the box. What is the right question that I need to be asking, is the question. So if 9 is in one of these 3, it has to go with a 1. We know that 7 and 8 are not on there. We know that 2 is not on there. But we could have 9, 1, which would make that 4, 6. But we could have 1, 9. Well, that's... We couldn't have 1, 9 on there because if that were 4, 6, that would be complete and that would be a lone cell. If that were 3, 6, that would have to be a 1. And if that were 3, 5, pushing 4, 6 over here, then that would have to be a 2, because I couldn't do the double 1 from this end. So that can't be a 1 with a 9 there, but that's not really a whole lot to go on. If that were a 9, that would be 4, 6, that would be 3, 5, and that would be 2 or 1, 1. Where is my pressure? Okay. If that's 1, 2, then if that were 1, 2, then my low digit here is a 3. That could not be low. That could not be low. That one still could. If If that's 2, 4, I get a low and a middly. If that's 3, 6, I get a low and a middly. If that's 4, 8, I get a middly and a high. So 1, 2 would be the most restrictive. But I'm not seeing how that helps. Okay, if that's 3, 4, 5, that makes that 6. That places 5 over here in one of those two. Places 5 up here. Wait, that doesn't work. Okay, if this is 3, 4, 5, that's 6. No, maybe it does. That would have to be 3 or 4 with 5 over here. All right, no, 5 could go in one of those two. 5 would go in one of those two. I feel like there is something I am missing. So if this is right, we have 1 of 4 or 6 here, and we have 1 of 4 or 6 here. We've established that. Therefore, we do not have a 4-6 pair. Right. If we don't have a 4-6 pair, then we have a 6-3 pair and a 4-5 pair. And then the next digit is 1. So those are 1s. And then that makes that 9. That makes one of these two 4. That makes this the 3-6 pair. And this the 4-5 pair. That's a 1. One of those two is a 6. That's nice. Okay. So we can let's mark that off there. And now we can't have a 4 line because that will leave a 1. So we have a 3 line and a 2 line, but we're not sure yet which way round they go. And likewise here, we have a 3 line and a 2 line, but we don't yet know which way round they go. All right. Okay. So now 9 can't go on here because we've already consumed a 1. Yeah, so 9 is in one of these two. That places 9 in one of these 3. Actually, I'm going to recolor that orange to green. Okay, so we now know that purple digits are high, which I like to have as orange. And these digits are low, which I like to have as blue. Except I just got that completely the wrong way around. Let's try that again. Those are the low digits. And these are the high digits. That will help me remember if I color it the right way. All right. So we now know that 6 is on here. So the low digits are 4 and 5 that are going to go onto these two entropic lines, and the middly digits, and the middly digits here are going to be a 6 and a 5. Don't know yet where they go. This is a 4-2 pair because we've got a 3 there and a 1 there. That's useful. And that still leaves our 1 and our 3 to go on the entropic lines. Over here, we've used all of our middly digits. So, okay. If those two added to 10, it would have to be 7-3 or 8-2. Is that a problem? If those three add to 10, that's 2-3-5, because all of those digits C1. And the only way to make 10 in 3 digits, unless I have repeats, and I could have repeats. So how could I have a repeat? I could have 2, 7. Oh, I don't think I can get a repeat on there just because of the digits available. 2 and 2 would be 4, but I can't make that a 6. 3 and 3 would be 6, but I can't make that a 4. Can't be 1, and then I'm going too high. So I don't have any repeats on these 3. My gut feeling is that's going to be a 2-3-5, which would place that as a 5. And that's a 2-3 pair. Does that break anything? That makes that a 4 and that a 2. We'd place a 3 up here, which could not go with a 7. Okay, so let's think about this pair, actually, because that's an interesting point. Okay, if I do not have a 3 or a 4 on here, then that would be 5-6 minimum, which doesn't work. So I have at least a 3 or a 4 on here. The 3 could not go with a 7. So if a 3 is up here, then that is in. If it's 4, I could have 4-6. That would make that 2. That would make that 6. If that were 4-6, see, this is interesting as well. If this is a 3-digit 10 line, 10 sum, then it can't have a 1 and is therefore 2-3-5. Okay, if that's 2-3-5, then that's 6. If that's 2-3-5, that becomes 6. And then I need 4, 7, 8, 9, which I can't put on the nabner. Because I'm going to, no, 4, Oh, I could have 479 on the nabner, which would make this 8. Which would then place 8 down here with a 2. Okay. If that's 2, 3, 5, that's 6. That's 8. That would be 479. I would need an 8 as the high digit on here. I would need a 4 on the renban. No, not a 4. One of those is going to be a 4. Right. 479 would go there. That would be 2, 3, 5. I'd have a 1 here, so I'd need a 3 here. And then I can't fit the renban in. Is that right? Okay. If this is 2, 3, 5, that's 6. That gives us 4, 7, 9 on the renban. That's the only way that I can go. And an 8 there. If we've got 4, 7, 9 on here, we know we can't put a 1 on here, so we get a 1 on here on the entropic line. Therefore, we have 2 and 3 on the renban because we can't have them on the entropic line, and then that has to go with a 4, but we've already put 4 over here. Okay, this is not 2, 3, 5, therefore we can remove light green from there. That is a 2-digit. And now, all of these C1, so can we have a repeat? And on the face of it, yes, we can. We could have 3, 4, 3. Okay, that's not 1, 9. That can't be a 9. So now we definitely have a 9 on one of those. And a 9 up here. And that one's not the 9. Okay. That, unfortunately, still leaves us with lots of freedom. But we can't have an 8 in any of those. That can't be 8. So we either have 8 there or we have 8, 2 here. So 9, so the next digit we could have would be 7. If we had a 7, we couldn't have 6, so we could have 5. 9, 7, 5, 3. Or 9, 6, 4, 2 would work. Yeah, so 9753, 9642. So we have a digit from 2 and 3. We have a digit from 4 and 5. And we have a digit from 6 and 7. And some of those combinations are going to put pressure on other digits. Okay. I am going to put 5, 6, and 7 in there. Not 6, try 8. That looks better. Okay, this can't be 6, 7, 8. Because if it was 6, 7, 8, then both of those would have to be 5. We can't have 8 on here. So we can't have 8 on here at all, because then it would be 6, 7, 8. So 8 is in one of those. 7 is in one of those. So this is now either 2, 8 or 4, 6. Okay. So I have a virtual, so one of these must be either 3 or 6. You always have to have, on a 3-cell renban, you always have to have a multiple of 3 on the line somewhere. We know that 9 is not on there, so there is a 3 or a 6 there. There's a 3 or a 6 there. So those, none of those are 3 or 6. What does that mean? If that's 3, if that has a... Right. Doesn't have a 9 on it. Doesn't have an 8 on it. If it had a 7 on it, it would be 7, 6, 5, which it can't have. So now, this is 2, 3, 4, or 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, how does that help? It means that there is a 4 in one of those 3. Don't think we have established. Right, can that be a 4 is the question. If it's a 4, then these two need to add up to 6, which I can't do. So that is not a 4. So there is definitely a 4 here. That's a 4-6 pair. All right. That 4-6 pair makes that 3. That makes that 6. So now this can't be a 2, 3, 5 line, because that would have to be, oh, that would be where the 2, wait, yes it could. That could be the 2, I could get 3, 5 in there. Never mind. Wait. Can I have a repeat on here now? The only digit I can repeat would be 3, and that would be 3 in one of those and 3 there. Okay, so it is not a repeated line, so it is a 2, 3, 5 set. And that's the 2. That's a 3, 5 pair. This is nice. That's not a 5. That's a 5. That removes 5 from there. That makes this a 2, 3, 4 line. That puts a 1 onto here. Only place for 8 now in this column, given that can't go on the renban, sorry, on the nabner line, is there. That makes that a 7. And that makes these 3 digits 5, 7, and 9. And that's 168. And that's 1 from each entropy. All right, so this is 735. And this is 981. All right, this digit can't be 4. That's a 3 or a 2, or it could be a 1. I had forgotten that this digit could still be a 1. So that's a 1, 2, or a 3. Okay, we are making some good progress. Going to remove those corner digits. Can't have 3 on that line because of... No, wait. Yeah, I could have 3 on that line. Never mind. Right, these 3 digits are 4, 6, and 9. And then that was not 9, but that makes that 2, and that 4 makes that 6. And that is now 7 or 8. In these 2 digits are 2 and 9. That means that I have a 3 on here, and so that's 7 and 3. That makes that 8. Wait, no. Yes, that's 3, 7, 8. And yes, so now there's no way I can not have that 10. So 3, that had to be 3, 7. That is right. That is 8. And that makes this not red. But I can still have a 1 on this line. In fact, this cannot be a 2, 3, 5, because if it were 2, 3, 5, this would be a 1, and then I would have no low digit for these cells. So there is a 1 on one of those 2. That makes that not a 1. I now can't have a 2 or a 3 on the line, because if I have a 2 or a 3 on the line, I get a vertical 2, 3 pair. I've already got a 1. I've got no fill for whichever is my low digit on this entropic line. So therefore, this must be a 1, 4, 5 line. And I don't think I know how they go just yet, other than that's not a 1. So now I have a 6 as my middly digit on here. What? My low digit is going to be 2 or 3 to go with that, and then my high digit is going to be 7 or 8. So that can't be 2 or 3. So that has to be 7 or 8, I think. Is that right? I've consumed 2 middly digits. So that's all my middly digits gone, 4, 5, and 6. I'll have a low digit, a low digit, and a low digit. So that's all of my low digits gone on the lines. So I've only got high digits left. So yes, that's a 7 or 8. That gives me a 7, 8 pair in the column, which isn't doing a whole lot for me right now. Okay, that's not a 1, 2 pair. None of those are 1s. So any of those could be. Okay. Is there something we can do here? And as of right now, I don't think so. Okay, that can't be a 4. So that's a 1, 2, or 3. And I've got a 2 or a 3 on this line. Okay, if that were 4, that would be 5, that would be 1, that would be 2 or 3. Don't think that helps any. Okay. Dum dum dum. What's going on with this line? Is that helpful? It obviously can't have a 2 on it, but it can still have a 1 on it. None of those can be 2. Right, is it this line now that is going to cause us some challenge with this line? So this has a 2 or a 3 on it. So this can't have a 2 on it. Because if it had a 2 on it, it would have to have a 3 on it. So 2 can't go in any of those. So now 2 goes in one of those 3. Is that helpful? If 2 is there, if 2 is there, that's going to place 3 down here. If 3 is on this line, that's going to put 2 there. Ah, okay, that's a small deduction. Okay, if 3 is on this line, then 2 is down here, and that can't be a 2. Oh, no, never mind. That's just saying the same thing twice. Never mind. Yeah, if 2 is on the line, 3 is down here, that'll be a 1 or a 2. If 2 is not on the line, it's there. Well, hang on a minute. If 2 is on the line here, then that's a 2. And that's a 9. But if 2 is on the line here, then we have a 3 here, and that's a 1 or a 2. Which doesn't help. Okay. But if 3 is on here, then that's a 1 or a 2. So we know that's not a 1-2 pair. Because either a 2 is here, in which case this is 3-6 or 4-8. If this is 3-6, that places 2 there, that places 1 there. That would make 1 go here, because it can't go on. Okay, so 1 is in one of those 3. Can't put 1 on the line. Okay. Is there any digit missing from this column so far? We've got a 7-8 pair. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9, all represented potentially. So, no, there is no digit that has to be up there. Could have a 7 or an 8 there. All right, let's have another look at this. If that, right, there is no 2 on there, so that is either 4-8 or 3-6. So that places 7 here or here. So if 7 were here, then I couldn't have 6 or 8 on this line. One of them would be here. So if that's 3-6, and that's 7, that would be 8. That would be 7. One of those two would be 7. If that's 3-6, that would be 5, 4, 1. If that's 4-8, then that's 6. That can't be a 6. Because we have a virtual 4-6 pair here. Because either this is 3-6, making that a 4, or this is 4-8, making that a 6. That also means that that can't be a 4. So now 6 is there, so our middly digit is there. That's not a middly digit. That is a high or a low digit. Don't quite see how that helps yet. So if that's not 4 or 6, what could it be? Okay, if that's 3-6, that's 5, 4, and 1. If that's 4-8, that's 6, Okay, if that is 4, 8, that is 7. If that is 3, 6, then that is a 7, 8 pair. So does that mean that's a 7 or an 8 regardless? Let me have another look at that. If that is 4, 8, no, if that's 3, 6, if that's, wait, yeah, if that's 3, 6, then the only places for 7 and 8 in the column are those two. If that's 4, 8, then that's 6. No, that could be 7. Well, all right, if that's 3, 6, that's 7 or 8. Got that clear. If that's 4, 8, if that's 4, 8, then that's 6. Four, 8. That can't be 1. Can't be 2. Could be 3. Couldn't be 4. Couldn't, or 5. Couldn't be 6. Could be 7. Couldn't be 8. Okay, so if that's 3, 6, that's 7 or 8. If that's 4, 8, that's 3 or 7. So that's from 3, 7, and 8. Okay, that's relatively restricted. Okay, if that's 3, 6, then that's 5. If that's 4, 8, then that's 3 or 7. That being 8. All right. It can't be 4 or 6. We have a 4, 6. Okay, so 1, can't be 2, 3, 5, 7, or 8. Right. Can 3 go on this line? We know that 1 and 2 can't. So if 3 were on the line, it would be 3, 4, 5, and 3 would have to be in one of those two in order to not break that. Two would be on the line, on the entropic line. If that were 3, 4, 5, 2 would be on the entropic line. 4 and 5 would be used up in the box. So 6 would have to be on the entropic line. So, okay, so that can't be a 3. Can it be 4, 5, 6? No, because then we've used up all 3 middle digits. So it's 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8. Okay. So it's definitely a 6 and a 7 on there. So that means that the 7 has to go down there. Yeah, can't put a 7 up here, so our high digit down here is a 7. That means our high digit up here is a 9. Okay, a little bit more progress. Okay, if 3 is on this line, then 2 is down there, that's a 2. One of those is a 1. Right, can this really be 5, 6, 7? If that's 5, 6, 7, then 4 goes on this line, and 5 goes down here with a 2 or a 3. Okay. If this is 6, 7, 8, we already got 9 on this line, so that doesn't help with that. That puts a 4 or a 5 here, and then a 5 or a 4 here. Ah, 6 is definitely in one of those 3. We have a 6 in there. So where does 6 go? It goes on one of these 2 cells. And more importantly, that is not a 3, 6, that is a 4, 8. So that's not 8. It also can't be 5 or 7. So that's now a 1 or a 3. Can't be a 5 or a 7 because that would be consecutive with 6. So that 4, 8 makes that a 6. That makes that not an 8. This 7, 8 pair means that 7 is not in one of those 3, 7 is in one of those 2. That makes that 8, and that's 7, which makes that 8. 7, the only place it's got in the column is here. So this is now a 6 with a 2 or a 3. Okay. Where does that get us? We have a 6 on this line. We have a 1 or a 3. Okay, we could put a 9 on the line. We can't have a, well, we could have a 4 on the line if that were a 1. Okay. Right. If this is 3, 6, then that is a 2, and that's a 2. This is not 3, 6. We already determined it can't be 1, 2, because that's 1, 2, that's 3, and that has no low digit. So can this be 2, 4? If that's 2, 4, then that's 3 on here, and that's a 1. So that could be 2, 4, or it could be 4, 8. And it definitely has a 4 on it. So, okay, that's not a 4. That gives me a 2, 3 pair. That makes that a 6. That is not a 6. This now cannot be a 2, 4 pair, so that is a 4, 8 pair. Nice. So that is not 8. So we've already got our high digit here. We know that that's a high digit, so this is a high digit, and it can't be an 8. And it can't be a 7, so that's a 9. All right, that resolves our 2 and 9 here. That 6 makes that a 1. We've got a 2, 3 pair. That's not a 7. That's a 5 or a 9, but it can't be a 9, so that's a 5. And that is our middly digit for the line. Okay, but that gives us a 9 here. So those aren't lines. So 6 is in one of these two. I accidentally removed a 6 from there instead of a 1. That looks a bit better. All right. So what clues do we still have left? We have this one, and we have this one. This one to completely resolve, this one here, and these here. Definitely got a 7 on there for our high digits. That's from 2, 3, and 7. Where does 4 go in this row? It doesn't go there. It goes there. That's a 4. That 8 makes that a 6. That's an 8. That makes this a 6. 6 is not there and is in fact there. That puts a... there we go. 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we've still got a 7 here. That makes that a 3 and a 7. Those aren't 6s, they're 4 or 9. Okay. That's not a 6. Okay. There's either a 5 or an 8 there, 4 or 5 there, 4, 8 there. So the only place for 1 to go in this column is there. That makes that a 3. That pushes 4 off this line. 1, so we can't have 1, 2, we've already got 3, can't have 4 or 5, we've got 6, can't have 7, and by sudoku we can't have 8. So it's a 3, 6, 9 line. Oh, without 3. So that's not 9, that's not 3, that is in fact an 8, that's not an 8. That's not a 9. We get 5, 7, and 4. I need a 4 on this line to be our middly digit because I have a 6 and a 5. So that's where the 4 goes. And that's a 5 or a 7 by the row and is therefore a 5 by the column, making that a 7. All right. That 5 makes this 4 and 5. That resolves our 8 and 4. That means that 8 is on this line. It's a 7, 8 pair. So this column is a 1, 2, and a 3. And that's not a 1. Oh, tantalizingly close. Is there some thing I have forgotten? All right, these 4 digits are actually there is a 1 in one of those two. That's what I can see because that's not a 1. So that makes that not a 1. That is a 1. That's now not a 1. That gives me a 2, 3 pair in the column. That makes that 1. That gives me a 2, 3 pair in the row. That makes that 7. So that's not 7 and is 2 or 3. That 4, 5 pair makes that 7. That's 5. This 6 makes that 9 and 6, which gives me a 9 here and a 4 there, a 5 and a 4. Okay. That's 2, 3, 9. I'm going to have to do some coloring to finish this off. That's 2, 3, 7. That 3 makes that 5. That's 3. There we go. That's 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Up here, we get a 2, 9 pair with a 3 there. We get a 5 and a 3 here. We get Where does 5 go in this row? That must go there, making that a 1, which gives 9 and 1, and 2, 9. That gives us a 7, and a 2, 8, and 7, and 8, and 4, and 6, and 4. Whew. That was a tough puzzle. Certainly for the standards of this channel. But I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Zetamath, for creating it. Lots of stuff to think about, lots of interesting interactions. Yeah, no, that was a really, really fun puzzle. Kept me engaged the whole time. Didn't ever feel I was really stuck. It was just a case of finding the particular clue that I needed to look at. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that. If you enjoyed this solve, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see more, and I would love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.